Hello there everyone, and thanks for joining my channel once again. And today's tutorial I'm going to tie up a fly. It's a little bit of a twist on an old classic, and I imagine many of you have seen and maybe tied the gray hackle peacock. It's just a real old classic simple little wet fly that's not a lot of steps to it, but it catches fish. And I'm just changing it up a little, and I'm calling this guy the purple hackle peacock. One thing about fly tying, one part I enjoy, is that you can experiment and take some old patterns and change them up a little and take them out on the stream, and a lot of times they produce really well. So I thought you might like to come along with me while I tie this one up, and if you have the materials, tie some up as well and give them a try. So we'll get this guy the vise here, a fresh hook in, and I'll get started. And the hook I'm using is just the standard wet fly hook that I use, a Mustad 33.99, and I'm tying them on a size 10 here. A pretty good size for the video so you can see it well. And danville 6/0 black for thread this time. So we'll start about a hook eye length behind the eye here and get a thread base down the shank here towards the bend. Get that laid down first. And there is a little gold tag on this like there is for the gray hackle peacock pattern, so I decided to keep that on this pattern. So I got some small gold and silver mylar tinsel. We're going to tie that in here for the tag, and I want the gold side underneath, so I'll kind of catch that in so that's up against the shank underneath the hook here. Alrighty, we'll catch that in. And I'm just going to pull that to length here. I just want it to come just a little ways back so I can catch it in good. And we'll take a few wraps there. Alright, I always find it easy to wrap these tags if you turn the hook upside down. You don't have to fight your turns around the thread and whatnot. So now what I'll do is take 5 to 6 turns down the shank here. So there's 2, 3, 4, and we'll do one more, 5, and then we'll come back up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now I'll turn the hook right side up again. And we'll tie off our tag on top, catch it in there, and keep your thread tension on your thread. And I'll wrap that forward a couple more wraps. And get a hold of it there. Okay, and we'll snip out the excess piece. And a couple more securing wraps. And one thing I like to do is take a little bit of Zap-A-Gap, just a tiny drop here, and put on that tag. Just keeps it from sliding down on the bend of the hook for you when the fish hit it. Just a little drop will do, and spread it around there. Or any super glue that you have that you can use, or even hit cement work as well. Now the tail on this guy is some soft. I'm using just an Indian hen cape here in purple. Purple Indian hen cape works fine for these. So I got one bigger size hackle. I'm going to strip some barbles off for the tail. So I'll take a small amount off here for the tail. And we'll keep that about the length of the hook shank here and measure it. And we'll come back and tie that in on top here, just like so. And we'll wrap back with a couple medium wraps here. Okay. Almost to the barb, like so. Then we'll wrap that excess tail material down up towards the eye, stop our thread. Okay, for the body it's peacock herl, as it is on the gray hackle peacock, and I got 4 strands here. Just going to snip off the brittle ends like always. And as you've seen me do many times on any fly I'm using peacock, I like to make a peacock rope, and how I do it, rope rather, so I'll get the peacock tied in on my side here, start it down, make a few wraps. Stop before I get to the tail and just make an ordinary dubbing loop. And a couple wraps around the bottom to lock it in place. A couple more wraps, and I'll grab the herl and the thread loop. And continue back until I get right in front of my tail, so that way the first strap is right in front of the tail. And I'll carry my thread forward once again to where we want to tie everything off here. Alrighty. So next I'll take those peacock herls in the thread loop and grab my hackle pliers here. Grab onto the end of there, and we're going to twist everything up into a good tight rope. And for a little more durability, I'm going to take my Zap-A-Gap super glue once again and just put a little bead along the shank there, just like so. Keep that body on there a long time for you. And the first wrap, I'm just going to use the rotary function just to get around that hook point. The first couple actually. Alrighty, so now we're going to give that a good twist. You want to twist it, probably have to twist it 2 or 3 times as you go up to keep it nice and tight. Alright, and we're just going to form our body going up. Just like so here. I need a few more, another good twist on here. Okay, just like so here. And one more twist on that rope should finish it. And I'd say one more wrap and we'll tie this guy off. Alright, so there. We don't want to, the main thing is you don't want to crowd your eye, leave lots of room for your hackle collar. And we'll tie this guy off. Make sure it's in there nice and snug, it's not going to go anywhere. And come in with my scissors and clip off the excess. Alrighty. So now we're ready to tie in our hackle collar. It's one of the more simpler wet flies, these type of flies, but they definitely catch fish. So we're going to tie this in here by the tip. Okay, I'll catch that in on top here. Going to wrap forward and fold the tip back like I always do to lock that down. And reach in, or you can snip it and just give it a little pull like so. And then I'll take one, lift that hackle up and take one wrap with your thread in behind just to prop it up a little before we wrap it. And then move forward to behind the eye. We'll rest our thread there. Okay, so now we're set to do the wrapping process here. I might have mentioned before these little plunger hackle pliers. If you can get a hold of some of these, they're great for doing these soft hackles. They grip those little stems very well. Okay, so now we're going to come down around here, get our hackle started on the fly, stroke them fibers back as we go here, and just simply wrap forward. Now, I usually use the whole feather most of the time. Usually works out just about right, just like so. And we'll wrap that stem over with a few wraps, come around over top of the hook, and just keep good tension with your hand on the thread. Release that, and I'm just going to make sure I've got lots of barbles around the whole fly. Looks good. Okay, so now I'm just going to pinch everything and fold it back with my 2 fingers here. Alright. Now we'll make a few wraps, going back first to lock down that stem on that hackle. You can snip it, or I most of the time just reach in and give that little stem a pull and it'll pop off for you like so. And all we got left pretty much now is build our head back a little bit more, and then we're going to do a whip finish here. And there's another size 12 purple hackle peacock wet fly. Just a little variant of the original gray hackle peacock, and I do think that purple is an overlooked color in fly tying, especially for trout. But they definitely do like the color purple. For instance, the purple haze, we all know how good a dry fly that is. I've had a lot of success on that particular fly. Okay, so now I'm just going to flatten my thread over here a little before I do a whip finish. I'm just going to spin it counterclockwise here. It just gives you a little smoother head on the fly. Alrighty. Alright, so now I'm going to reach in here and grab my whip finisher and do 4 or 5 turns on this guy. And there we have it. Snug it down tight. Snip off my excess thread here. Okay, one last step. This time I'm going to use, instead of hit spin, a little bit of Solar Bone Dry here. It's a good thin resin that soaks in the thread wraps well. It's a good way to finish off your flies. Just going to spin that around, cover all the thread wraps here. Okay, and we'll carry him up with the light. Get a little zap there, spin him around. Alrighty, that's good right there. And there we go, folks, done deal. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial this time around, and like I was saying, it's one of the fun parts of fly tying is experimenting and just changing up some original patterns. Just change the hackle, body color and whatnot, and sometimes you can be surprised when you go try them out, which I have been. So until next time, if you'd like to see more of my flies in the future, hit that good old subscribe button there and the little bell so you're notified when I put more videos up. And I really appreciate you watching, and throwing a like too, and any comments that you have, put them down below and I'll read them for sure. So until next time, everyone, like I always say, happy tying out there. We shall see you all again soon, and so long for now, folks.